This is the Rebel Call channel. Welcome to today's show. Every year around this time, the world's wickedest people get together for what they call the Met Gala. And there's no need, if anyone out there was thinking about bringing their kids to the circus this year, well, save your money. Because there's no need to go to the circus when the Met Gala is in town. The 2024 Met Gala filled with every witch you could possibly imagine, and of course filled with sheeple as well. As you can see, this is a photo of some of the fans outside bowing down to their false idols as they walk around dressed like clowns and Satanists and brides of Satan, as you'll see in a second. But this is what I've always warned about with our society. People who would all tell you, them standing there, they would say, I don't worship false idols. I'm not a fan of anyone. You know, it's just a good time. It's just fun because they keep telling themselves that they're not worshiping false idols. But you can literally even see somebody in the back row there using two hands to bow down to these false idols. So let's get to it. Let's start with my favorite, Lana Del Rey, right? Lana Del Rey is literally dressed as the bride of Satan. I don't know what people think when they see them covered in sticks like this, but of course this is pan worship, which you might as well just call it what it is, which is satanic worship dressed as a bride of Satan. Now, we've seen this theme before at the Illuminati ball. The only difference is at the Illuminati ball with the antlers, the person actually wore a horse's head or the head of some type of mutated horse, probably one that came right off of Plum Island. Here we just get Lana Del Rey's mutated face. So it's almost the same difference, right? And Lana Del Rey is a self-admitted witch who has been seen covering her eye countless times on magazine covers, even using her cat at one point in time. You know, this is just what witches do out in the open, but these people refuse to believe that all of their heroes are witches. You can see all-seeing eye symbolism over and over and over again. In fact, one of my favorite Lana Del Rey truth in plain sight things is, of course, that Lana Del Rey has an album called Chemtrails Over the Country Club, which shows you, when these people are self-admitted witches, it shows you just how deep this runs, because people wouldn't even correlate chemtrailing with witches and the occult. But it does, and it is, because it's witches who are spellcasting on us and even going as far to dump chemicals on us on a day in and day out basis and engineering the weather, which of course is it really is just a form of witchcraft one way or the other, right? So Lana Del Rey, and she even was holding a rose for the Rosicrucians, or I should say the Rosicrucian Order, which I'll do a separate video on, but that's why you always see the rose symbolism. It's not because it's their favorite flower. They don't just love roses. They haven't brainwashed people into always getting roses as a sign of love. It has to do with duality. And it, of course, all goes back to the Masonic Lodge and the Rosicrucian Order. So Lana Del Rey flat out dressed as the bride of Satan. And why not just bring Satan herself or itself to the party? Because here we have Doja Cat. That's right, Doja Cat, fresh off of, lots of albums about demons and the devil, yet everybody thinks that we're all crazy pointing this stuff out. But you could see the tears coming down from Doja Cat's face. Of course, it's representative of the black goo. Why not? We just saw a music video where Doja Cat was demonically possessed, lying in a black goo bath. That video is available on my Wake Up Call channel. I just uploaded it for anyone out there that hasn't seen it. So definitely go check it out now. If you haven't subbed to the channel, make sure you do. There's Doja Cat bathing in the black goo. We see the black goo time and time again because this represents the transformation. And currently, there's a black goo transformation that's going on. It's about getting something inside your body that will edit your genetic code. And that's why we constantly see them bathing in black goo, doing things like this with their eyes, having black goo dripping out, right? But nobody will think more than that. They go, well, it's just, she's pretending she's crying and she's got, tears running out. Doja Cat, again, just like Lana Del Rey, all-seeing eye symbols. I guess they should just call this the all-seeing eye gala, because everybody here, every single person on the red carpet that I'm covering, you could see them doing all-seeing eye symbolism, right? We've seen Doja Cat in the past even dress up as a demon or dress up as Satan itself, wearing an outfit just covered in red. Then we get this Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa is getting rolled out down our throats. Everybody seems to love Dua Lipa. This is another thing that they do. If you look at the dress, the way that this dress is designed, you could see the Baphomet. That's how a lot of them wear their outfits, and that's why they get you to obsess over their fashion, because you're really obsessing over their fashion without realizing what they're doing. They do a lot of different symbolism through the dresses and the outfits that they wear. Here you could see the Baphomet on the top, and that's why it comes down to a V right above the crotch area, right? We've seen this many times. Beyonce most notably does it all the time, wears these Baphomet outfits. Madonna has done it in the past. And of course, Dua is just another one of these celebrities that I guess she has a bug in her eye. She just seems very obsessed with holding hands over her eyeball, but I guess everybody at the gala does. It's just the common theme is that, you know, it's one big club and you're not invited. And guess what? It's the synagogue of Satan. So then we move on and we get this thing called Zendaya, I believe it's called. Another child actor who has gone through the CIA's Disney programming, who has been rolled out. You know, again, they roll them out through Disney. The children like them, think that it's innocent. The parents think it's innocent. And then, of course, as these children grow older with Zendaya, they end up continuing to follow Zendaya's career and her choices. And then they use people like Zendaya to manipulate your choices. So Zendaya is dressed up as a peacock. And we've got this Hunger Game themes as well going on here while the world's burning around us and these people are just celebrating and nobody seems to care. But Zendaya with the peacock theme. I covered this with Argos. Okay, they use the peacock and obsess over the peacock because of the design of the, you know, the way that the peacock looks. It looks like eyeballs on the peacock. So they always use the peacock symbolism. And of course, Zendaya has always used, you know, all-seeing eye symbolism as well, just like Dua Lipa, whatever you want to call it. You know, just like Doja Cat, just like Lana Del Rey. It's just a common theme these people all have in common. And as we move on here, I noticed that I believe what was once Demi Moore has arrived on the red carpet. I guess they're rolling Demi Moore back out, which is always a great opportunity for me to show you Demi Moore. Now, we can look at Demi Moore's dress and just, well, who can even look at Demi Moore's dress when you kind of take a look at Demi Moore's face and what's happened to Demi Moore? But Demi Moore, Kabbalah witch, okay, proudly always wearing the Kabbalah bracelet. Demi Moore was once married to another Kabbalist, Ashton Kutcher, who always wears his Freemason hat, who, of course, made an out-in-the-open sacrifice before becoming famous in Hollywood. It's actually a true crime that you can go and watch. But if you don't know this about Demi Moore, obviously I'm not going to play the full video, but I have a video on the website about Demi Moore. Here's just a clip of Demi Moore in her 20s making out with a 12-year-old.
I love them all, and I hope they all love me. We do love them, and I love them.
If you think it's for the quick publicity, you're out of your mind.
Absolutely, because he's one of my most favorite people ever. He's one of my most favorite people. For about 3 weeks, and he's been terrific. She's the greatest. We're gonna get married, by the way.
Yeah, so, you know, that's just normal behavior in Hollywood, of course. People never see. That's Demi Moore, you know, just out and about with a kid that's 12 years old. And I guess that's what everybody does with this 12-year-old stranger, right? You kiss them on the lips. I mean, give me an utter break. So that's a common theme we see here with these witches and ghouls, of course, is their lack of caring for children. And, of course, a lot of other things they're trying to normalize with kids. So as we continue on, worth noting that Jeff Bezos decided to show up. Jeff Bezos, just the more and more I think about, you know, if God was to give me the opportunity, which I know wouldn't happen, but if I was granted the opportunity to be on that battlefield and God said, I'll give you one person to fling. You know, you could fling him into the pit. I mean, Jeff Bezos is really neck and neck on the top of that list with like Jared Leto and, some other people out there I could think of. But Jeff Bezos, the more I see him, the more I could just look in his eyes and sense just this demonic ghoul that he is. And of course, all the stuff I've covered with Amazon and turning your home into a prison, the Amazon prison that they're building out. So Jeff Bezos, nobody's suspicious why he's there along with people like Doja Cat, you'd say, what do they have in common? Well, the American corporation. These are the people who are conspiring to destroy our way of life and getting away with it. And of course, these are the same people who have control over the internet, control over speech, and are silencing people like us from calling them out. Bezos, of course, we've seen him doing the all-seeing eye symbolism, just like Dua Lipa, just like all of them I just showed you, right? Just a common theme here, folks. They love putting things over their eyes, right? And as we move on, we see Little Nas X, of course, because one of the themes we'll always see is, well, men dressing as women, which I'll get into later in the video. But Little Nas X showed up, and of course, here's another person who's obsessed with all-seeing eye symbolism and the Satan shoe, as you remember. They flat out even put Luke chapter 10, verse 18, which I've covered, about Lucifer falling like lightning right on the shoe. You got a pentagram on the shoe. And of course, there's human blood in the shoe for anyone out there that's new to all this, but don't be suspicious about Little Nas X. I mean, there's only about 40 videos I have on the website about Little Nas X. Couldn't be more obvious, right? Then we get Katy Perry. Here comes Katy, right? Nobody thinks any further when they see somebody wearing a giant key on their chest, but they should think further because, of course, this stuff is all biblical, folks. These are demons in front of us that have manifested in the flesh. Katy Perry wearing a giant key. I've talked about the key. It's a very symbolic symbol. Most Christians should know that. These people are not obsessed with their car keys. They're not obsessed with the key to their home. And they're certainly not referencing the key to their heart. They're referencing the key to the bottomless pit. Of course, I'm referencing Revelation chapter 9, verse 1. Then the fifth angel sounded his trumpet, and I saw a star that had fallen from heaven to earth, and it was given the key to the pit of the abyss. Okay, even in Revelation chapter 9, verse 11. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue with his name Apollyon. Okay, that's what Katy Perry is referencing. We've seen Katy Perry. I mean, the all-seeing eye symbolism of Katy Perry is comical, right? Even holding hands over her. Katy Perry has an album cover with hands over her eyes where she's got an eyeball in her mouth. You've seen her do concerts where people are just running around with television sets with the eyeball on it while she's wearing the eyeball on her chest. But it's all a conspiracy, folks. And it's also a conspiracy that she was married to Russell Brand, who is your new face of the supposed truth movement that they've canceled out and replaced with government operatives, right? And of course, as I mentioned earlier, the theme, you get an invite. You're probably saying, how do you get invited to the Met Gala? Well, transition your child with Baphomet worship and turn your son into a girl and vice versa, and you'll get an automatic invite, which is why Will Smith's children were invited, because nobody could really think of why anybody would want them there. But Will Smith's kids are there, of course, the son dressing up as a girl. That's no surprise. Look no further than Dwayne Wade, who did this to his own child, decided that he was going to cross-dress his child, turn his son into a girl or vice versa, whatever it is. That's the only reason Dwayne Wade is even famous or at this. Okay, I get it. Dwayne Wade played basketball. Nobody cares once these athletes retire. Nobody cares anymore about them. They have no existence anymore. It's hard for a lot of them to deal with because they don't want to be out of the spotlight. But this is what Dwayne Wade does now is he, takes his children and rolls them out in opposite clothing of what they should be wearing. So that's why Dwayne's there. That's why Will Smith's kids are there. Then I don't know what this is, but I mean, just got a ghoul that decided it wanted to put a fishbowl on and then cover itself in a shower curtain. So I don't know if this what gender this is, but this is they tell you that this is fashion and this is art, folks. So we're all supposed to want to do this. So the next time you're, say you're at PetSmart and you see a fish tank, I guess you're supposed to just buy the fish tank to wear the fish tank or whatever this is. I have no idea, but this is what they tell you is fashion. Of course, more men dressed up as women. I mean, this is just the common theme, right? Nobody out there sees it. We got a guy dressed up as I don't know what. I couldn't tell you. I mean, it's Doink the Clown. I don't know what you want to call some of these people. But they're telling you that this is fashion, right? We have men dressed up in floral dresses. I mean, it's not fashion. It's just an embarrassment, and it's really just what our society has become, what we've allowed our society to become. So then we get another man dressed here in a, somewhat of a skirt. And of course, I'm showing you this because of the duality. We have the black and white symbolism, right? As above, so below. Nicole Kidman as well, wearing the black and white symbolism. These are common themes you'll always see at these events. We even got Anna Wintour coming out of Anna Wintour's coffin. Of course, we've seen so many things revolving around Anna Wintour and being the devil reincarnate, right? We've even seen Letterman talk about is Anna Wintour the devil. We've seen her in Zoolander. If you haven't seen that, I have a video on Zoolander on the website as well. Zoolander 2, I believe it is, where they bring out Tommy Hilfiger and all these big fashion people And they flat out do a satanic ritual and make a mockery of it, of course, trying to make people out there think it's all a conspiracy. But that's what the fashion industry is. It's a front. It's a front for laundering money, as most of these are. Nobody asks questions how all these fashion people, right? They come out in these bizarre outfits. Do you see these on the shelves at the stores? No, you don't. Can you buy that fishbowl outfit on the internet? No, you can't. So nobody says, how do these people make money? How are they not only make money, how are they so rich? How do they live this lifestyle? What is the point of these fashion shows if these aren't clothes that are going to be available at Macy's? It's a front. It's a front for laundering money. Okay? That's all that the fashion industry is. And they flat out show you it by all the satanic outfits and everything else that they do at those shows. So as we continue on, we even got Nicki Minaj doing a little bit of a monarch butterfly flower theme. You know, sometimes I believe their handlers just try to make them look like complete fools and put them in these outfits because there's really no brain waves going on in these people's heads. They're just under complete control from their handlers. Of course, Nicki Minaj. In the past, we see Nicki doing the all-seeing eye symbolism as well. And Nicki is known as having an altar out in the open. Roman, the altar of Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is dressed as the Whore of Babylon even in the past at the Grammys, which I've covered. So this is just a little breakdown of the Met Gala. I know every year people want me to cover these types of events, so I decided to cover it. And what is the common theme we see? Well, we see the bride of Satan all around us, right? And we see these people who constantly are revealing themselves through symbolism, right? Doing all-seeing eye symbols. I showed you almost every single person doing all-seeing eye symbolism. And I showed you it because that's a common theme here, right? All of these people are on magazine covers or posing on the red carpet doing that type of symbolism. They're all at this event, and you're not. You're not invited. And the common theme here is they're of the synagogue of Satan, right? The common theme here is you'll be invited if you're cross-dressing your kid. The common theme here is devil worship, right? And of course, even the Demi Moore clip that I played for you. That's another common theme that you see. And unfortunately, what we see at these events, like I showed you earlier, is you see the sheeple outside bowing down, trying to get a glimpse at the stars. These people have no thought going on in their mind whatsoever. They think that this is perfectly normal behavior because they've been trained to think it's perfectly normal behavior. And this is what the Tavistock Institute has given to our society, right? I talked about that with the Beatles, how the Beatles were an experiment to see how they can get the general public to be influenced by the behavior and by the ideologies of the Beatles. And what have we seen since then? People fainting when these people come out and, show up out in public, right? So what's horrible about it is, you see some of the government-created protests going on with Palestine and Israel, right? These are all government-created, but obviously it's monkey see, monkey do. So some of these events naturally do occur. Like people are actually, because they keep seeing it on TV, they're going out and trying to do it themselves in their schools and their towns. They're going, we're going to do a protest, and that's what the government wants. And really, these people should be going to the Met Gala. They should be going to the Met Gala because these are the people responsible for all the world wars, all the world's problems. They're deliberately doing it. They're sabotaging our way of life, and they're flaunting it in front of your face while they go out and wear their ridiculous outfits and flaunt themselves in front of you while everybody else is suffering from depression, anxiety because of the things that these people are doing. There should have been, at the Met Gala, there should have just been a mass citizen's arrest, but we know that the amount of security that was there wouldn't even allow their own stage protests to show up outside, because I believe there was some protests in New York yesterday, but nobody was able to get close enough to this because, well, these people would crap their pants if people actually started doing something about what they're actually doing, because these are the people responsible for all of it. So this is the Met Gala, folks. Yep, enough to make you want to barf on your, just barf in your fishbowl, right? Just a bunch of Satan-worshiping slime balls showing up and flaunting themselves. I thank everybody for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you as always and your families.